everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen. One of my favorite things to do is spotlight women that are making a difference in this world. Before I share a little bit about Sarita, I want to share with you that at Everyday Women TV, one of the things that we love most is giving women a platform to be able to share their show, their area of expertise, and make a difference. So make sure to check it out if you haven't. And if you're interested in being a host, reach out. So today I have the beautiful Sarita Rodriguez joining us. Welcome, Sarita.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
And we're going to be talking about some amazing things today. We're going to be talking about her show on Everyday Woman TV. And we're also going to be talking about a topic that is near and dear to Sarita's heart, which is really related to the mindset associated with overcoming health challenges. So before we get started, I'm going to share a little about Sarita. Sarita is the founder and CEO of Recalibrate Wellness. She is a former stylist, makeup artist, and model turned health and wellness coach. She ranked as a top coach by Las Vegas Entrepreneur magazine and has been featured on the cover of the Las Vegas Sun recently for Everyday Women TV. She's creator of the family show, Growing with Gus, as I mentioned, on everydaywomentv.com. It's on YouTube and on the Las Vegas Television Network. She's a mother of two boys. One she homeschools, and she has a granddaughter. Yes, you're not going to believe this. That's 3, which I've had the chance to meet. She's so sweet. If she's not working, you'll find her spending time with her family, traveling, reading, and discovering new restaurants and cafes. So let's go ahead and get started, Sarita. Let's go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about your show, the passion that's behind it, the type of inspiration that you want to put out there, and just a little more about it.
Well, Growing with Gus is a family show for kids, kids and families, ages 5 to 12. It's focused on preventative healthcare. So focused on healthy lifestyle habits. And how I came to be inspired with this show is when I was working with my clients. What I found consistent was health challenges that could be prevented. They were lifestyle diseases. And I said, what if they knew back then how drastic these habits would have been, that now it's accumulated, how it would affect them? Now, with us in our generation, we know that smoking is bad. But there was a time that it wasn't, that nobody knew. So it was cool to smoke, and you would see ads, and it was great. And, you were the person if you smoked a certain cigarette.
Right, you were cool. Yeah.
Right.
Even in the movies, if you look at the old movies, it was just very cool. And now if you turn on a movie at home, it actually has a little warning at the beginning that says smoking.
Yes, exactly. And so I was thinking about, the foods that we eat, the habits, the mindset, what runs on autopilot in your head.
Mm-hmm.
These are things that we're not taught when we're younger. And it's with my generation and older. And I said, what if I can get the word out and teach children to be mindful? What if I can help parents teach their kids to be mindful?
Yeah.
What if parents become a little bit more educated about why junk food is truly bad for you? It's not just it's bad for your teeth. It's not just it's going to make you obese. It's not just that. I was just talking to Gus, my 8-year-old son that stars in the show, how sugar is like a drug. It does not only ruin your teeth, but it slowly, ruins your internal organs. And when you look in the mirror, you can't see that. It slowly ruins your brain. You look in the mirror, you can't see that. You only see what you see on the outside. But that's years of accumulation of this substance, of all of these artificial ingredients. So, it's just little education, teaching them how to eat better, how to think positively, how to recognize stress, Children are not taught how to manage stress, and I think there's a reason why there's an increase in depression, anxiety, all types of mood disorders. It's just getting younger and younger as we progress here. So if we teach children and parents how to recognize, and children can't always communicate either how they feel, they don't know.
Yeah.
They'll just say, my stomach feels funny. And you don't know that the child is actually going through anxiety. So what does a parent do? Oh, let's give you medicine for your stomach because your stomach feels funny.
Yeah,
It
it's the
hurts.
band-aiding. It's the band-aiding.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah, we
not
call it
asking.
band-aiding. You don't actually find out the cause of things, but that's the way we were raised, right, Sarita?
Right,
You have a
exactly. 'Cause
stomach ache, you do this. You have a headache, you do this.
yes.
They don't ever look. I have a question for you. As a wellness coach, do you believe in all or nothing, or do you believe in everything in proportion when it comes to things like sugar or junk food?
Kids are kids. You're going to have to give them something at some
Yeah,
point. I mean, I do the same with my child. You
of
can't say
course.
no, but I do pick and choose, the sugar. For instance, with Gus, I tell him, hey, this is your sugar for the day. This is it. So you're going to have to pick because later on you can't have it. And I also have a cutoff time for sugar. He can't have anything after 4 o'clock.
Well, that's
So,
understandable. It hypes them up.
mhm.
Do you remember when your oldest was little? We used to joke because they'd go to school, have a party, and then the teacher would send them home all sugared up
Mhm.
to the
Yes,
parents,
yes,
right? Because it makes
exactly,
you
yes.
really hyper for some
Yeah,
people.
yeah, so just be mindful of your intake. I'm not saying no, because it's impossible to live a life like that, and I do believe, in the 90-10 diet, 90-10 lifestyle, which is 90% of the time you keep to a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle, and the 10% is that's what allows you to do these other things so you're not going to go crazy when you see a buffet table of muffins or
You
something.
know what? I completely agree with you. You know, I have 3 grown children now. And one of the things that I love most about being a mom is I grew up in a house where there was always junk in the pantry. There was always junk in the drawers. And because it was accessible to me, I barely ate it. And I think I love because then I raised my kids the same way. I didn't do an all or nothing. So what happened with my kids is there was always junk in the pantry, Sarita. Their friends would come over and go crazy. But my kid would say, Mom, can I please have a cheese stick and some fruit before bed? And it was on their own because
Mhm.
I made it accessible and they understood that they didn't worry. But then I'd have family members come over or nieces or nephews, and because they were told no, 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 all they would want at my house was cookies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
So I believe the way that you're teaching is so important. And let's switch over to adults for a second.
Mhm.
Obviously, as we get older, we need less things. Okay. And when I
Right.
say less things, we don't need as many calories. Our body just doesn't need it to function. And we definitely want to be eating healthier, but we also are more affected by things like sugar and junk food than children because their metabolism's going 1,000
Yes.
miles an hour, right?
Yes.
What
Yes.
is your 90-10 also for adults?
Yes.
Okay, good.
90-10 is for adults. It's the same thing. But of course, you adjust to your age, to your weight. Um, some can get away with 85, percent because they exercise so much that
Or they're
they can,
younger.
yeah, that they can actually, have, they can be a lot looser with their diet. They have more leeway, right? But
Right.
for the general, it's 90-10. I would say if you live within the 90-10 rule, you will never feel like you missed out on something.
Agreed.
Because again, when you're living your lifestyle in the healthy 90%, you're not really missing out on anything. What you're doing is you are actually putting time in for the quality of life you're going to have when you're older.
Right.
Because the last thing anybody wants is to have regret when they're whatever age and you're lying there in the hospital bed and you're thinking, I should have, could have, would have. And all of the things that you're laying in the hospital bed for could have been prevented.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
had a chance to reverse it or slow it down and you didn't. And these are things that people are slowly waking up to. And I think the pandemic, really helped people become more aware of like, hey, what's going on with my health?
Yeah.
I need to take better care of myself.
Agreed. Agreed.
I have a little bit too much body fat. I need to reduce this. And it's
Or
not
you got sicker from something that maybe someone that was healthier wouldn't. One of the words that you said that I really want to stop and just recognize is the word aware. I think that the key a lot of times is awareness, where I like to say, I am aware of what I eat. I am aware of what I choose to put in my mouth. There's something so valuable about the word aware that I loved. And the second word that came to me that you didn't mention is I love recently that a lot of these organizations that are dealing with eating disorders and stuff are teaching about intuitive eating.
Yes.
And I want you to chat a little bit about awareness and intuitive eating, because I have to tell you, I always research these kind of things because I'm always interested in health. And I saw the steps of intuitive eating, and they're just brilliant because they're not stressful on people.
It
So
shouldn't
would you
be.
talk about that a little bit?
Well, first of all, having a diet shouldn't be stressful. Okay. It's very easy for people to say, I want to lose weight, and somebody's going to give you a diet plan, and it's going to be restrictive and it's going to be hard. Okay. Yeah. And within 3 months, you're going to be right back where you started.
Agreed. Well, I love the word you used, lifestyle. I don't like the word diet. That's a personal preference. I think diet sets you up for failure. I love the word that you used, which is lifestyle and awareness. I like those.
Right. And I think that unless you are in a major health crisis, but in general speaking, you should be able to create this diet for you, which I believe everybody is different. Everybody's unique. So this is where intuitive eating comes from. You have to be aware with your body of when you eat a meal, how does it feel? How are you feeling before and after? What was the thing that gave you energy, and what was the thing that depleted you of energy? Because food has energy.
Sure.
And this is where you become mindful of why are you eating? Yes. Okay? Because many of us eat because we're stressed, we're sad, we're lonely.
Or bored. Some people eat because they're bored, right?
Bored, yes.
Some people eat just because they like what they're about to put in their mouth and it tastes really good.
Right.
But I love that you said that, because many times people eat and they're not even hungry.
No, sometimes we're just dehydrated.
Yes,
and we confuse it with hunger. So the first thing I would suggest, with this is always drink a glass of water before your meal.
Always have my water.
Right when you wake up, drink water. It activates the nervous system. It helps, activate your brain. Wakes you up. So, do that. And before each meal, just drink some water so you're not overeating. And that was also another secret that we used to do when I used to model. Was always drink water before your meals, and listen to your body. When I work with my clients, I really try not to overtake or implement a certain type of diet to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Some might say, I want to explore going vegan or vegetarian, or they think they should go gluten-free. They're not sure. I would say, listen to your body. Your body knows what's going on. And sometimes we confuse cravings, okay, with what's truly going on inside us. Most of the time, cravings have nothing to do with food.
Great.
Most of the time. So when you're working with your body with awareness, the intuitive eating, and all of these things, the cravings are going to come up.
Okay.
You need to sit down and say, where is this coming from? Because most of the time it has nothing to do with the food. The food tastes great, but you might be depleted in magnesium. You might be depleted in vitamin B12.
Iron. It happens to me with iron, Sarita.
You might be depleted of that. And that is the reason.
I I have a little bit of a deficiency. It's very small, but all of a sudden I'll crave a hamburger or a steak, and it's the
Yes.
funniest
Perfect.
craving.
Perfect
Oh,
example.
and I also crave salads, which is
Yep.
weird because I'm not crazy about lettuce. I don't know why I don't like lettuce, but I'll be like, okay, I've got to have a salad today. And I
Yeah.
just listen to my body and give it what it wants. And by
Yeah.
the way, same thing with the junk food.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll crave chocolate. And I'll be like, okay, I'm craving chocolate. That's okay today. And one of the things I love to do is I love to buy small portions of things. So I've like Kit Kat thins in my, and they're just little single Kit Kats, and they're so thin that it's totally perfect for me because I deserve to have my chocolate craving. But I think everything is proportion and balance. I know there are people that love soda, but I don't touch soda, but then
Yeah.
they won't eat cake or cookies. So I think that I love the way that you're putting it forth. I love the words that you've used today: awareness, intuition, healthy. Everybody is different. It's so true. There isn't a one fix it all. And the thing I want to share before, I want you to share a little bit about yourself before we wrap up is this. I believe that everybody really is different, just like you said, and that you need to recognize that if your girlfriend is in shape all the time and doing nothing, it just might be her metabolism, and yours just might be different. And I'm a big believer in getting my blood work done every year and
Yeah.
making sure that everything is good at my age.
Yes.
But is there any last tips you can give people that are going, Sarita, I'm just so frustrated. I've tried everything and nothing's working.
That's what I usually get anyway.
I
Because
know.
I've tried everything and
I
nothing is
know.
working. Well, what's not working? Let's think about this. Most of the time, you can get put in a program, right? What is the consistent thing with all the different programs you've tried, with all the different plans and everything you've tried? The common denominator is you. So, how can we fix you?
Right. Good,
Because
good, good.
if you've done 10 programs and none of them have worked,
Yeah.
let's talk about you.
Beautiful.
Because most of the time, you have other things going on besides your health and your weight. And this is what I address.
Very
Because
true.
all of those things come secondary. How did you get high blood pressure in the first place?
Very true.
Let's talk about that. Where did that start? Are you working with a therapist? Maybe you need to. Um, Other things, like working with a functional medicine doctor, maybe you need to switch doctors.
Sure.
Maybe you need to work on your energy level. Maybe you need to quit your job and find something else because your migraines are not caused by you. It's you being living in a constant state of stress,
Yeah.
you
Sure.
know?
Sure.
So let's talk about you.
Yeah.
So
No,
when
I
people
love it.
say, I've tried all kinds of diets, I've hired a trainer, and the common
So just
denominator is,
stop looking for the solution. If the solutions are not working, then you need to find someone that can help you figure out what's going on with you, because each of us are individual. So would you wrap us up with telling everyone how you can help them and how they can get a hold of you to learn more?
well, they can get a hold of me through my website. They can schedule a free consultation
Give your
there.
website, Sarita.
It's www.recalibratewellness.com.
Perfect.
They can book a consultation there, and it's free. Like I said, I usually do them at the end of the month, and then for clients to get started the first of the month, and they can learn more about my practice, and who I am and what I do there, and all my different programs.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on today, talking about a very important topic. I actually have not had a speaker or a guest yet talk about wellness. I'm so excited that I got you on. Thank you for being a part of Everyday Woman TV and such a big part of the community at Everyday Woman. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for everything that you're doing. And you've just been such a light. So thank you. I'm so glad that we've had a chance to meet. And Sarita doesn't live far from me. So we've actually met in person, which I don't get the chance to do with a lot of ladies, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sarita.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And those of you that are listening and watching, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Successful Woman's Mindset. My name is Galit Ventura-Rozen, and we will see you next time. Bye.